them away.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I can't even see myself.
All right. In my Matthew McConaughey voice. All right. Hi, everybody. How is everybody? Welcome. How y'all feeling?
What's
I feel
poppin'?
awesome.
What's good? What's up, chat? Hold us down. Let's get to some topics. I'm feeling good. One thing I discovered, if I have nothing else in this YouTube space, is I am going to have a support group of degenerates that survived Jen.
That's true. That's going to happen.
If it's one thing I'm going to evoke and provoke, it's a bunch of degenerate dusties having a powwow, a support group about Jen. Little old me. Who'd have thought? Little old innocent me.
Well, they
Embarrassing.
need a support group, Jen. They need one.
It's like the Avengers of failure. Like,
Right.
just putting together a team.
It's like, listen, no, it's literally a support group of rejects talking about me for hours. And you can't even fathom how important and special that makes me feel. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you do. I hope you feel special because you are.
I really
do. It is safe to assume that anybody who has that kind of time to devote to anyone gets no buns. Trust me. You
Ain't
get
no way.
no buns.
Ain't no way. They'd rather beat off to talk about me for 3-4 hours than be in some bun. So right? 5 hours. 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so funny, a lot of people ask me, yeah, why don't you name this person, name that? These people are fucking embarrassing to have as ops. That's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, why can't you name me? They can use my picture. They can use my name, right? That's going to get clicks. If I put some fat, dusty fuck on a thumbnail, who's going to click it? Who's going to be scrolling by and see some fat, dusty fuck on my thumbnail and be like, ooh, let's see what Jen got to say about this fat, dusty fuck. Like, I can't do that. They can use my image, right? They can use my picture. They can use I can't use them. So it's
They can't even use their own. They can't even use their own image. They use AI.
Right. Hello. I'm like, you have a whole avatar as a personality. Bruh, Dusties, I can't. These guys are fucking embarrassing. It's not like I'm...
The avatar version of him, that dude is ripped. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's not, but I'm just saying, I'm like, yo, you motherfuckers, you don't understand. Y'all are embarrassing to have as ops. I can't go nowhere and be like, guess who I'm beefing with? It's not like it's Andrew Tate or Kevin Samuels, RIP, right? It's like, yo, who you beefing with? Some fucking dusty in a dark room with some other dusties.
In a third world country.
In a third world country with some incels surrounding him, patting him on the back. Like, I can't. Y'all are embarrassing. Y'all are embarrassing to have as ops. This is why I don't say your name. It ain't like I could sit up here bragging like, yeah, me and Andrew Tate going at it. Me and some dusty and some that. This is why I don't mention you. This is why you have to mention me, and I thank you for it. And good luck on your support group. We live and we learn. Yeah.
We learned.
I'm never done. I've never done that. Okay. It's a slow drip, bitch. It's a slow drip with me, bitch. It's a slow drip with me. So everybody off of that, okay? More positive, because we keep it grown and sexy over here, okay? Chat, hold us down. Welcome, mis amigos, to On the Block with Jen. Today's Tuesday, Lily?
Please, I haven't learned my days of the week yet, okay? I'm going back to kindergarten next semester.
What's a fucking calendar? It is Tuesday. So happy Tuesday to everyone. Welcome. You guys already know you can reach me on all social media platforms On the Block with Jen. You can reach me Cash App as well, On the Block with Jen, if you want to support the show because the mama entertains you. It is scrolling on the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, meet my panel. I don't know where No Saint is. He on Color People Time today. So Lily, let the people know where to find you so we could jump right into it.
Well, I am Lily of YB Limited. That is the way it's spelled on the screen right here. No, it's here. Yeah, that's where it's at. Now, here's the T, right? I can't see myself today because I couldn't find my charger, so this light is very dim. Okay, but it is spelled the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited, the way it is on the screen. You can find me here on YouTube as well as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I started my career as a makeup artist, and I moved on to becoming a model slash actor, and those roles led me here to the blog.
Music producer, infamous shit talker, Heron DeMarco. You can catch me as Heron DeMarco, Heron.DeMarco here on YT. You can also catch me as Dangerous DeMarco on IG. You can catch me also as Heron DeMarco under Spotify and Apple Music. Sorry about
There you go. There you go. YouTube press at YouTube press at Laugh La La. Now we're all going nuts trying to figure out who it is. It ain't nobody, honey. Trust me, it ain't nobody. Like even if I said a name, you'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Right.
It's the dusty part of the YouTube streets, and the YouTube streets are already bad. But there's even an underbelly to that, and it's like a dusty, you know what I mean, beef sector. So it's nobody. Trust me when I tell you, it's a nobody from nowhere. Just people that, you know what I mean, to be more than happy to say, yeah, I got to beef with her because that's as far as they're going to get to speaking to anybody significant ever in their life. But yeah, that's why I don't mention them. These people are embarrassing to have as ops, like embarrassing. It's like me going back to the South Bronx and arguing with some bum on the corner who has a 40-ounce beer in his hand and a blunt in his ear. And you know what I mean? His activities, his exciting activity for the day is going to the bodega, 5-10 times to buy some greasy shit. And as he gets fatter and nastier, this is why I can't name these people. They're embarrassing to have as ops. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I be hanging out with my friends. Y'all already know how we do. And it's like, imagine me having this conversation in our circles, y'all.
Lord, no, that's not happening.
In between my friends talking about their fucking deals and what they do and shit. Oh, by the
Investments
way, I got investments and all this shit, right? Their portfolios. And I jump in with, I had a beef with some Dusty on YouTube. I can't. These conversations are embarrassing to have outside of here. I can't. Like I said, there's a life on YouTube. And there's a real world. Unfortunately, for these Dusties, they will never be in the real world of any significance. So I understand why they do the 4 or 5 hour support groups to me. I understand why I'm your subject for 4 or 5 hours. I get it. I get it. Okay. With that said, tonight's topic: movie shows delayed by the SAG strike. This is a pretty big deal, you guys.
It's a big deal.
And there are a lot of layers to it. And my thumbnail, if you guys are familiar with a phrase or a quote or whatever, or a call to politics, it's called "Eat the Rich," right? Have you guys heard that saying before? Eat the rich.
Yes.
Okay. So there seems to be no sympathy. There seems to be no sympathy because people think this strike is about rich people wanting more money. But before we get into that, let's cut through a little bit of fluff. What you got for us lately?
Oh, I love a good fluff. I mean, I have been called a good fluffer once or twice. I mean, I'm just saying.
It ain't even Thursday yet, Lily.
All right. So we're going to start by fluffing Elon Musk. If you're going to fluff anyone, that'd be a good one to fluff, okay?
I got to agree.
Okay. So the reason why we're going to fluff him today, if you haven't heard, have you all heard that Twitter has changed its name?
I did hear to
X.
Yes. X is the new name. Okay, so now they're not just changing their name, they're going to do a whole facelift, right? Because he acquired, I wouldn't even say he acquired, they made his ass take over Twitter, because if you realize he was trolling, I don't know if you caught the full thing. He was originally trolling, right? He was just trying to prove some points. And then he tried to back out of the Twitter deal. They said, no, not so fast, sir. No, you done put us through all this. You gonna buy this. So he bought Twitter and immediately, started making too many changes. He's like that new manager. You ever worked at a place and they bring on a new manager and he comes in the door as a tyrant and you're like, wait, I like Jeff. I like the way Jeff was doing things,
And Jeff is gone.
And Jeff is gone. So he came in doing that. And people were saying like he's running Twitter into the ground, right? Mm-hmm. Stock plummeted, all that good stuff, right? So then he rolled out the whole check the is it the blue check mark thing or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then that still really wasn't really doing it. So next thing you know, I wake up this morning, they like, child, he done changed the name, and he's also going to try to make this a one-stop shop. I don't know if you're familiar with I think it's WeChat in China. That
Yes.
is like their one-stop shop. He wants to
Yep.
rival that. He also wants to rival the upcoming CBDCs that has been buzzing around the economic world lately. That stands for central bank digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
um and there's been a lot of talk about that going around. And so what he's essentially saying is that he wants to take on the government. Like he wants to be like another form of Bitcoin, right?
Interesting.
And have his own type of currency and everything like that. He's marketing this to a younger demographic. And as you all know, like that's his demographic. Like those people
Right.
worship him. Like he might as well have his
Yes.
own religion in church, right?
Yes.
Um, so that is a couple of things that he is saying that's going on. Um, I mean, I don't know what you all are thinking about this, what you think about this. I think it's very interesting. I'm going to sit back and grab my tea or my coffee and sip slow and watch how this plays out because I think it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The
What do
plot,
you think? Huh?
the plot
mhm,
twist.
yeah, it's a
Meta,
plot.
Soft- Meta, Microsoft, and hundreds more own trademarks to the new Twitter name.
Oh,
So essentially, Meta owns X,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft owns X, a whole bunch of other
Mm-hmm.
people got a trademark. So he essentially went and got a name and went and got all this other shit, and he might be in an issue with a whole bunch of other people in regards to his name being X. So that's going to be. It might be a nothing burger. It might be something.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But he's also talking about having Twitter become somewhat of an official dating site. Also,
I mean,
oh,
isn't all social media?
you're right.
of course, duh. I mean, there's two
Right.
things. There were two things that people did when they first got online. Went to go find boobs, and they went to find out how to scam people out of money. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
those are the
You
first
leave
two
my
things that
Nigerian
people.
friends alone, please. Thank you.
And
So,
also, what do people do a lot online is they go look for that long lost ex or that high school
mhm,
love or whatever. I know
mhm.
some relationships that broke up because of somebody getting back on with their ex, or what I mean, rekindling shit with people. So I mean,
Jen, man,
all these apps.
I want to ask you.
Yes.
You told me before that happened. Did any of those relationships last?
I meant to ask
Yes.
that too. They did?
Yes, the one there, I know of two specifically. One actually left the husband for that high school sweetheart. She moved everything. They're still together. She is lucky in love. He's spontaneous. You know what I mean? He's handsome. He works out. While her husband, of course, was overweight, didn't drive, had the same job for many, many years. And I keep telling guys, they don't believe me, but women get bored, right? And the other guy was fit. He was more adventurous, more, and they're lucky in love. Now, the other relationship I was talking to you about was a very close friend of mine. His wife actually got with a guy who had a wife. So they messed around, and then my friend contacted his wife online and was like, "Your husband is fucking my wife," and that whole shit blew up. However, my friend and his wife remained together. They stayed together after that whole fiasco. But his wife was very, very much in love with that other man. It's just when the other man, when his wife got touched, he was like, "Yo, fuck everybody. I'll murk all of y'all. You shouldn't have contacted my wife, and I don't want that bitch. You can have her back." So that's kind of like what happened. So then my friend, it's a myth that men don't stay after a woman cheats. Men do stay. It's just we don't talk about it a lot, but that's a show for another day.
That
So
that
yeah,
Mm.
that,
that other relationship, they stayed together.
that
I,
relationship
I,
was
I,
explained. It sounds like some shit Michael Ealy is starring when actually it's Netflix. For some strange
that
reason, see
it
Michael
does.
Ealy. Shit.
It
So
does.
do I. So do I.
You see it. You see it,
I
right?
do
I
see
see
it.
it. I definitely
Michael
see it.
Ealy is definitely in. He's definitely in there.
Yeah, as you were talking, I remember I have somebody close to me that did the same thing, same exact thing. Except there wasn't like a another person involved, right? But
Okay.
the high school sweetheart looked her up. Not only high school sweetheart, but they got married after high school, right?
Okay. Okay. That's
Um,
an
eh,
XX.
right, total X. And they tried to do this rekindle, bring it back thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of things. He became an alcoholic since then, and he blames it on her leaving him the first time. So he never got over it
Mm.
20 years later. So that didn't work out because the
I always
resentment
think
came out.
I always think spinning the block is good for maybe a one night stand or a party or something like that. But spinning the block is like, you know what I mean? Like there was a reason why you two parted. There was something that didn't mesh, right? And I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. Once I'm done, like someone's completely out of my system, I'm like, it doesn't, even if we hook up for like this or that, it's like it can never be where it was. You know what I mean? And I notice people try doing that shit and it turns into a disaster.
It's true.
Move on. There's billions of people on the planet. There's billions of people on the planet. Life is short. Move on. Leave that. As you're watching this, leave that motherfucker in the past, her or him. Move on. Try something new, something different, because you already know how that shit failed, right? You know how it
Right.
failed. You know what's there. It's there. Try something new. Branch
Right.
out or try yourself. Try yourself. Go out and fucking explore life without a fucking relationship. Keep trying to tell people. So as far as the X thing with Elon Musk, other people have the trademark to it, however, but don't isn't like X and letters and numbers, aren't they used by a lot of people?
Uh, yes and no. I know exactly where you're going with this. Things like this
Mm-hmm.
can be tricky. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't fucking trademark the color blue. You know what I mean? Like can you trademark how it's spelled? Then we're in a different, situation.
Right. If you
Can
do
you, can you trademark?
BLOUGH.
Right, right. You know what I mean? Especially if you're both in the same fucking industry. You know what I mean? Then things get a little, you know what I mean? But trademarks, let me tell you something, man. Trademarks, because I've dealt with trademarks for a while, for years. And trademarks can get tricky and expensive. You know what I mean? You have to be real clear what your company is. You got to really do a search, man. Do that fucking search. You know what I mean? Because if you blow with your shit and somebody else has it,
Mm-hmm.
although it's impossible to find everyone, but if you blow with your shit and someone else has it, here come the people who, of course, want to check. You've seen it before. A group or band or company, they blow somebody else, a little mom and pop shop got the same.
Biggie.
They want 30 fucking million. So,
Rick
my
Ross.
thing
Mm-hmm.
is, yeah. So my thing is like, when it comes to trademarks, it's like, yeah, we'll see. Because you could be like, nah, it'll never work. And the next thing you know, somebody gets awarded. So we'll see.
So Forbes, and then we could move on. Because people, I'm starting to get complaints, honey, like, oh, you don't jump right into the subject. Y'all like hanging with us. Relax.
I know.
Relájate.
I have several seats.
Forbes says Elon Musk's Twitter rebrand set stage for everything app X to take off. Experts say here's how. Elon Musk's abrupt decision to do away with Twitter's iconic blue bird and rebrand as X erased one of social media's most recognizable brands overnight and potentially killed billions in brand value. But
Mhm.
marketing and branding experts told Forbes the unconventional and seemingly reckless strategy signals the start of Musk's promised everything app and could have more to it than meets the eye. I love it. This is like billionaires playing with their toys.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
It's like an anime series. Like these, it's just never ending. It's
Like I'm a
twists and
literally,
turns.
Mm-hmm,
Mm.
mm-hmm.
like I'm gonna
It
just
said,
piss on the graveyard. Just I'm gonna buy the
yeah.
tombstone and just piss on it.
Yeah, that's what it really looks like. While people, the average Joe Schmo is like, oh, he's gonna lose billions of dollars. He's sitting on billions of dollars. So it's not like, it's not the average person going bankrupt. It says Musk Twitter's rebrand is an exceptionally risky move as it jettisons 15 years of brand value and forces him to build a new brand from scratch. Forrester Vice President and Research Director Mike Perleur told Forbes, the task is no small feat. I think he can do it. The reason why I think he can do it is because people are so addicted to Twitter A lot of people making money
No
on
one's
Twitter. They're
leaving.
not gonna go. What are they gonna do? I'm leaving because it's called X now.
No, no
Please,
one's leaving.
please.
No one's leaving social media. Motherfuckers talk
Period.
that shit. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. And I'll speak on that again. But it's relative to today's topic, because all that hating people are doing on actors, it's gonna come and bite you all in the ass. You'll see. But anyway,
Oh, interesting.
right
Interesting. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that.
Mhm.
True story though. I'll pay anybody $25 to help me get my password to Facebook, because I do want to quit Facebook. And Facebook is being a biatch and not letting me in because I forgot my password. So if you could do that for me, I'll cash out you $24. But that's it.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
It's
So
just
you
over
little
just
geeks.
one fucking person. These motherfuckers are
Huh?
fucking fascists. They don't want to give you shit over just one person who just wants to leave.
I
Right.
want to shut down all my Facebook pages. I loathe Facebook. It is a fucking it's a time drain. It's a human being drain. And I want to get off of both I got 2 pages on Facebook. I want both of them off. And people are like, just stop using it. No, I want it all off. I just want it off. I'll stick to Instagram and this shit here. And then we're gonna start a Patreon for the On the Block with Jen meetup. That's about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
your
but
grandma.
it's a cemetery over there. Facebook is a cemetery over there.
Yeah,
It's,
and your grandma's over there, bro. What the fuck are you gonna do? How much fun are you really gonna have with your fucking grandma? You know what I mean? Actually, on the same site as you, like.
Yeah, Lily and I would talk about we had to block some relatives because it's like, what are
Mhm.
y'all doing here? Like,
Because it's cool.
stop
Because,
it.
like, look, if you think about it, say if you go in there, you got this big tough persona, shit like that, and all of a sudden your mom tags you in a photo with you sucking your thumb and holding your blanket or some shit like that.
It was not supposed to be that way. And I
No.
hate that all the generations are now complete convoluted cut. It's not supposed to be that way. Like there was a kids table at a party. You know what I mean?
Right.
The grandparents were there, the aunts, uncles were there, the cousins were there, the babies were over there. Not everybody's on the same. It was never supposed to be that way ever. It's
I
really
mean,
weird.
even TikTok is like that. It's such a strange place because you got
Mhm.
like older people trying to compete with the younger people on TikTok, and
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
it's just really interesting.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
unnatural.
Mhm. Hold on. Let me block this bitch real quick, and
I was
then
just
let me
about to
put it on.
address that.
Yeah, we got to block the bitches because they're not gonna talk shit and watch. So let me put it on subscribers only because
My
you
thing
bitches.
is when someone has to make an announcement that they're leaving. That's really
Right. Like,
weird to me. Like, oh, you must know I wasn't going to notice your ass missing. You
right.
must
So it's
knew
like,
that.
right. Yeah. Let me
Anybody who
put this
does
on
that is a
subscribers
legend.
only.
Anybody who does that is a legend in their own mind. Like,
Right.
I can promise you, like, your mom didn't notice that you left the house 18 years ago.
Right.
I promise you.
Right.
Right.
You said
Probably don't know.
18 years ago.
Probably don't know. Probably don't know his name now.
Pretty much.
Right. And the crazy thing is, these motherfuckers are so sick because you got to subscribe at least for 5 minutes in order to comment. So these motherfuckers subscribe and then wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're sick. But when you don't have
Genius.
a life and you're miserable,
Yeah.
misery gives you this energy that most normal people don't have.
Yeah. All right. I got him the fuck out of here. Okay, he's gone. Okay,
Yo,
so
like the OGs here, the OGs told us, don't argue with nobody who ain't got no job, man.
I don't
Only
argue with
or
anyone.
YouTube is their only job.
Right. Right. If
Yo, them motherfuckers were panicking like, what I'm gonna do? They take my YouTube. I ain't got no money.
woo, well, this is a
Wait a
good
minute, he said
segue.
that? He said that?
Yes.
To a
Oh, I
certain
gotta go see
extent.
this shit now.
To a certain extent. The streets are
But
talking.
he was, oh my goodness. Yeah,
That's how I heard it.
I love seeing a motherfucker in pain.
But
Yeah.
this is actually a good segue into the topic because
Yes.
there's a lot of people in Hollywood saying the same thing.
So the topic is eat the rich. There is no sympathy. And this is not just hold on, chat, hold on, lurkers and watchers and all that. Tristan said, homie was crying last night.
Oh, poor baby.
So,
I can't watch this shit now.
so I told Tris, give me the cliff notes. I can't do the.
Oh, but was there subtitles? Tristan, were there subtitles?
I can't do it. I can't. I have a. I have a very short nerve for bad accents. I like, I like Southern accents. I like French accents. I like Italian accents. There are a lot of accents that I love. That
Yes. I don't know
I
what
can't
that
do it.
accent is.
I can't do it. I can't do that accent.
It's like a mixture of like 5 bad accents.
I can't do it.
Him and Simon.
Right.
Him and Simon
Oh, that's terrible.
Accent.
It's like,
and it's crazy because Simon is a Brit.
Like and it's you're being very disrespectful. You're being very rude. You know what I mean? I caught that shit when it came up the yacht last night.
It's called Chut. It's called Chut. I found that when I was over in the UK. Simon's accent is the equivalent of like, I think it's called chutney or something like that. But it's basically the equivalent of lowbrow here. Like when we hear somebody from the hood.
Isn't there? It's a British accent and then a Cockney or something accent, and then another accent. So there's a couple different ones. Huh?
There's a gutter. He's like a gutter British accent. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, like that's the South.
One.
It's a South London accent. Because when I was in the South London, that's when I started hearing it.
It's not like that Idris Elba shit.
No,
no. Accent. Ask a woman if she wants a drink and she already got her panties rolled.
It's not that one. It's definitely. I mean, we've heard it here. Did anybody feel anything? No.
Right.
No, like some accents, I can't. It's shrill. That's why I can't listen to it. I was like, Tris, clip notes. I can't. It's shrill. I can't do it. I can't listen. I'm like, I can't do the gutter. I can't do it. Anyway, okay, segue. The reason why chat, people lurking, hi, hit the like, subscribe. The reason why this is interesting, this topic, is because it's more than just an actor or writer strike. It's an interesting case study as to how now a lot of people are really pushing back on these people that are striking because they think that everybody who's going on this strike is a wealthy celebrity, right? So now a lot of the celebrities are pushing back. A lot of the ABC list actors are like, hey, wait a minute. We're not rich. We don't have the money that you think we do. We are working people. And it's something that I have been saying for years on this fucking platform. You worship these people and it is literally a job. It just so happens that our job and their job lands them in front of your television set. But it is a fucking job. They have to check in. They have to file paperwork. They got to show up to work or they will get fired. They're under contract. They have to promote. It is a fucking job. When the populace got into, oh my God, let's worship Tom Cruise. Oh my God, let's worship Nicole Kidman. Y'all are the suckers, okay, that got caught up in the Hollywood business, the business of show, and now you're mad at them and you hate them. It's eat the rich. It's fuck them. I don't care if they strike and they rich, right? But you put them there. You put them there, and all it was a job. It is literally a job. That's why no matter what celebrity I've run into, I'm like, it is a job. I look at them like a peer. I don't care how many fucking millions they got. You have a job. The mailman has a job. It's just that the mailman doesn't end up on TV with his job. You end up on my TV with your job, but it's still a job. But you worship them to the point where you made them bigger than they are, larger than life, and now they're going on strike. And you're like, yeah, good. Because you know the common person likes to see rich people, famous people fail. They love it.
They do.
It's like, yes, misery loves company. Now look, now y'all are hurting like me. Now you're about to not have no money like me. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of eat the rich. And just so we're clear, because a lot of people don't even know what that is, I wanted to read this really quickly. Eat the rich is basically a political slogan associated with anti-capitalism and left-wing politics. It may variously be used as a metaphor, class conflict, the demand for wealth redistribution, or literal call to violence. So it's the little people mad at the rich people and the people who don't give a fuck about them and the capitalists of society and what have you. That's why I named tonight's show Eat the Rich, because we're seeing a lot of that where people online are commenting like, fuck these rich people, fuck Hollywood, we don't care. And I'm like, wait, these are the same people that you worship. These are the
That you
people
want to
that
be
you,
like.
right, that you want to be like, right?
That's exactly it. But you know what? Here's the thing. Um, these people better really, 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 truly hope that this strike comes to a formidable end where both parties are satisfied, because the average American, average person needs entertainment. Yes, you need entertainment. You need entertainment because without entertainment, without the Dave Chappelle's, without the on the blocks, without the this, without the that, without the those, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be reminded of the reason why you hate your fucking wife.
In
You're going to be
life.
why you hate your fucking kids. You're going to be reminded of that and fucking knew you blew that kept you from going pro. See, entertainment is a distraction. It's a happy distraction, and it's a distraction that most of us need. You need that distraction because it helps you, it satiates you, so you can go out there and you can work and be productive. But you see, without those things, you'll find something. Might be drugs, might be other things, but you'll find something to keep your time and so on and so forth. But like I said, look, man, I'll always stand with artists. All jokes aside, not many people really understand the life of the average artist. The uncertainty, the maybe you'll eat today, maybe you won't, the extreme highs, extreme lows, family disowning you, people not believing you. And then when you get a lick, and then when you're on, your fucking phone is being blown up. Everybody's calling you every fucking 5 minutes.
I
You're the
always knew you could do it.
you're the
Yep.
fucking
Though
people doing
that's the favorite line, Jen.
all this other wild and crazy bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'll always stand with artists, and to sit here because guess what? No matter what anyone says about this strike, these are a group of people who felt that they've been treated unfairly, and they're fighting back. You get treated unfairly by the government every day. Why aren't you fighting back?
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Haram, because it's just a group of people that feel like they're being treated unfairly at work. I keep telling
Right.
people entertainment is just a job. It's just a job. But you, again, I say, the fanatics, the celebrity worshipers, you make them bigger than they are. It's just a job. See, they got a union. Now they're fighting
Right.
against the union and all of that shit. Like that should prove to you that it's a job. They are on strike. You can't go on strike unless you have a job.
Right. But
See
see,
how
these
that
people,
works?
the people who are upset at supposedly wanting to eat the rich are eating the wrong people because they're mad at the people who are telling you we're not rich, the majority of us. It's corporate greed. Like, so the people aren't mad. It's so weird how people work, right? They're just mad at who they can see, right? But the people who are really making the money, the greed is coming from the studios and the corporations and things like that, right? And so if they want to be mad at anyone, that's who they need to be taking it out on. But it goes to show, we know this because we've been in this industry for a long time, and this is like probably the number one industry that people want to get into, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when I see that online, it's just saying to me that these are people who didn't get what they want out of life, and they probably wanted to be in the industry, right? They probably never even tried, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
They probably did try, and
Hmm. Hmm.
nothing came of it, and so now they want to be mad at everyone. But if anybody knows anything about this industry, you will know that only probably 5%, maybe 10%, I'm gonna be nice, of actors are wealthy. The rest of us are, you know, one job away,
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
not being able to feed ourselves. And so yes, there's so much uncertain. This is probably one of the hardest industries to be in, because what
Hmm.
the thing is, you have to put so much work in
Hmm.
before you even see a dollar, and you're not even guaranteed to ever see a dollar, because
Hmm.
the 90% of people don't ever get to the point where they're able to feed themselves off of this industry alone. The average person has a waiter job or a flight attendant or something like that to be able to supplement their income, and they don't understand that. And it's not that that's just talking about the actors. We're not even talking about the writers and how they do the writers. Okay, the people who actually make these films. So it's a bunch of ignorance. It's a bunch of ignorance.
The first time I saw how much writers get paid, I was like, holy fuck. Because I was like, I like acting, but I want to go behind the scenes. I'm a great writer. When I saw how much they get paid, I said, what the fuck?
Look, listen, man. Oh yeah, the Chicago PD statement that I just saw. Yeah, I agree. Atwater needs a love interest. Put on the force. Atwater's like the only black dude on the fucking force of Chicago PD. He gets all the fucking cliche ass storylines.
Really?
Yeah, every time it's if it's a drug bust in the hood, you know what I mean? If it's some black shit, he's always the spotlight. It's just like it's
Thank you for the super chat. Louis Kanye says that's why Stone Cold Steve Austin was so popular. Why? Why was he popular?
I don't know what he's referring to, but I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was literally one of my top two guys.
Oh, I don't know. Also, they were talking about, I did read an article or listen to an article that says something about the rise of the it's probably just shit, but the rise of the content creator, the internet content creator with the Hollywood thing. I don't think that Hollywood is gonna fall. Too many people making billions and billions of dollars. I think they're gonna work something out. And then they spoke about artificial AI. The AI is not gonna take over for actors, right? They might stick something in here and there, but I think that in order for AI to be major Hollywood, we'd have to wait many, many, many more years. It's not like this strike is going to happen and now we're going to have, 500 AI actors ready, you know what I mean, for movies. It's not going to happen in probably our lifetime. Maybe a couple hundred years from now, there'll be an entire AI Hollywood. But it's not going to happen right now. It's not going to. Everybody's panicking like, we're going to lose our jobs to the robots. Everybody calm down. It's probably going to be in your grandchildren's, life.
The fact, I mean, you're not even a technical person, but the fact that you have the goddamn common sense to understand that if that were to happen, you won't be alive. Most of us won't be alive to see it. You know how much infrastructure it will require to have an entire fleet of sentient, controllable machines for an entire industry.
Yes.
Elite means they've gone through years of testing and so on and so forth. Because guess what? If they're going to be on the field, they got to make sure the company doesn't get sued. Are you out of your fucking minds? But again, it's fear. People love fear, man. This is why religion is such a powerful thing. Religion is such a powerful fucking thing because people are just so motivated and gripped by fear, man. Don't worry, you'll still have your miserable job tomorrow morning.
Right. And I'm like, as far as the AI imagery that's going to take time too. That's going to take time to have 10 artificial intelligence actors on a screen. That's going to take fucking time.
Yeah, I didn't see I'm with you all on that. I didn't see the actors being in jeopardy. The writers,
yeah,
I saw that, right? I saw them eliminating the writers and keeping only a few to just clean up things. I did see that one coming. That's why they're not budging. That's why they're not budging on that. They were already planning on doing that anyway.
And it still looks hella weird. Like I've seen a lot of different artificial intelligence actors, and they still have this going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's still that weird, you know what I mean? The eyes are always dead, right? Because the thing has no soul.
No soul.
So it's going to be a long time before we see a film with 5 actors on screen that are AI and look like living, breathing, moving things, right? Right. It's going to... Right. And then carry a scene and make you cry and mess with your emotions. And I think it'll work on the generations that are coming after us. It's not going to work on us because we learned emotion, fear, tears through human beings, right? Our children are being trained, with AI. So their crying and tears and emotions are going to be different than how we learned crying, tears, and emotion and laughter and happiness, right? We learned with real human beings. Our kids now are watching this new shit. So I think it'll work on the kids more than it'll work on us. We'll be
It's
like,
always
that fucking
about them.
robot.
It's always
Let me
about
tell
them.
you-
It's never about us.
let me tell
Thank you for the super chat. Hold on. Thank you for the super chat, Louis Kanye. Louis Kanye said he whooped his boss's ass. Oh, Stone Cold. He's talking about the bosses rising up. Hi, No Saint.
Hello, how are you?
Really good. How are you?
Everyone on the panel. I'm okay. Just one of those moments.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Always happens when you're away from home.
It does. It does. It is okay. All the white men showing up at the same time. How you doing, Georgia Porgy? George Cook says, what strike? I don't watch TV or watch movies for the most part. I checked out of the propaganda machine that is Hollywood a few years ago. I've never looked back. With that said, I hope the writers get their money. Me too, George.
That's so
I hope
funny.
the writers get their money.
If I didn't do this show, that would be my comment right there. I live in a bubble. Like, I only know more things because I do this show and I gotta go. I didn't own a television for like, what, 4 or 5 years? And I didn't even miss it. Not one bit.
Thank you for the super chat, George. We have to keep abreast of shit that happens in pop culture because of the show. But there's a lot of stuff I don't want to know, but
Right.
I like to entertain, and I got to bring the people what they want and what they come to us for.
I think eventually, when it's all said and done, man, and I'm gonna go away and I might just live in a fucking hut. I might not have any fucking technology. You gotta understand, man. I have been with all this shit since 56K modems, bro. Like, I've literally seen this shit just evolve from people just arguing in little fucking bubbles on AOL. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. So to see it just become this, and now it's becoming AI. And another thing too, if they had that kind of technology that you think they can apply to movies right now, trust me, you would not see it in movies. You see it on a fucking battlefield. You'd be seeing that technology rip some fucking kid's head off over some fucking oil.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll know when we have certain technologies when it's used for some nefarious fucking shit.
That shit happened yesterday, didn't it?
That's where we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
It's on that part's on its way.
Yeah.
They already have. Yeah,
that happened yesterday.
They already have AI drones that
I'm sure
that are making their own decisions.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And the reason, I was talking about it earlier today as well. The reason that it's like the nuclear bomb. It's like we had to get it because somebody else is working on it. Well, we have to do this AI, whether it doesn't discriminate against a 7-year-old that's scouting troops or a 50-year-old, like a 7-year-old girl, like in one of the soldiers said in Afghanistan, they had a 7-year-old and they knew that she was scouting, she was looking up. Well, this AI is not going to discriminate, right? So as bad as that is, China's working on this stuff too.
Let me ask you a question, because every time I hear this, I swear I get into a battle with the other person. So let's see. When you say they already have a drone that's making its own decisions, is it programmed to make its own decisions?
No. Listen, I was watching this. It was showing an AI. One of the robots was like kind of like a dog, right? 4 legs and everything. And when it walked, and it's trying to teach, they're teaching it how to walk over, or it's teaching itself how to walk over separate terrain. So the first time it hits this little surface that's slippery, it flips on its back, all right? And then the next time it does a little something different, flips on its back. And then they showed it walking on like a foam bed where it punches into the foam bed, like boom, 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 right? And then when it goes over these different, and then when it hits that slick thing, it makes it across. And this is all by itself. It's learning from its different mistakes mathematically, obviously. It's doing all with ones and zeros. Right. All with ones and zeros.
All right. So then my point is, it's either programmed to operate that way or there's a glitch in the program. And here's why I say this. Rock with me. It's not born. AI is not born. It doesn't come through a womb, right? It's not born. if I make a machine, right, this is what I'm putting into it, right? So when I hear it makes its own decisions. No, something in how I designed it is causing that program to do that thing. But when it makes it, is it a sentient being? Like when you say,
Not sentient. Not
right,
sentient.
when you say it's making its own decisions, you put a soul in it now, or some sort of knowledge beyond the program.
It's self-learning. It's not, it's self-learning. So basically, it's kind of like, I hate to compare it to a child, but for the sake of this particular conversation, like No Saint said, it'll do something, realizes, oh, that's not what I was looking for, and then figure out another way. So yes, they initially program it a certain way, and then from there, it starts to teach itself. And then from what I'm hearing and reading is that they're starting to teach each other.
So so the program, the human being, the man that made this machine, had no idea how it was going to turn out. Had no idea that it was going to start teaching itself.
They don't know what's going to happen, really. That when I watched all of the interviews for the people who do develop it, the one constant that I'm seeing is that they're saying, "Oh shit, this shit is moving faster than we expected. It's doing things more faster than we expect." That's the constant that I'm seeing. So I just said I sit back and watch and sip slow.
This is gonna be interesting. This is why we all keep referring back to this movie. This is why the discussion between the architect and Neo was so profound, because the architect kept saying, kept destroying the matrix, kept destroying it and starting over. And here was this machine of just complete and absolute mathematical precision. He just couldn't get that fucking glitch that was Neo to not show up. And that glitch, most of the time, you know what I mean, in the program, a lot of times, if you just want to call it what it is, it's just human error.
That's my point.
But listen.
That's my point right there.
They were they brought I just want to add on to, they brought a pilot into like a flight simulator and they ran it against a computer pilot, right? That's made to fly planes by itself. And he said when he first started doing it, he could tell it was a computer pilot. And by the end of it, he lost like 9 out of 10 times. He couldn't beat it because it makes decisions so much faster than a pilot can possibly. Plus, it doesn't fear danger. So if they're coming like this, it's not worried about dying. It's not worried about any of that stuff. So it takes more risks, and it's all precise. So
yeah, but I mean, that's a basic calculator.
Absolutely.
The calculator can add, subtract, and divide way faster than you.
Exactly. But this one, through trial and error, will fine-tune itself to be,
like I said before, a computer isn't necessarily smarter than a human being. It just processes information faster than a human being. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. You know what I mean? Human being, I mean, in order to really, in response to like just pure brain power, I mean, we haven't really calculated how far the human mind goes in comparison to a computer. However, we do know that yes, a computer can process information a lot quicker than we can, and it won't.
That's how they're designed,
and it doesn't have trauma. It doesn't second guess itself. You know what I mean? And all of these other things, but it also doesn't see the gray area, and that's what the interesting thing. If you saw, see these questions are always in sci-fi movies. The answers to these questions are always in sci-fi movies.
They give you predictive program. They give you the T.
If you saw iRobot, the main issue that I don't know if anyone saw it, but the main issue that Will had with with machines was that he was almost going to die. He was in a car, and there was a child in the back, and the machine showed up to basically, I guess rescue both of them as he thought, but he kept telling the machine, "Go get the girl." But the machine calculated the situation and said, "No, he's the one you're the one that has the more, probability of surviving. So I'm gonna just leave this kid to die." But when you look at it from a human perspective, you're kind of like, I can see why Will wanted that decision. I'm the adult. This is a child. You know what I mean? But a machine is not going to make that decision. A machine is going to assess the situation, weigh the pros and cons, and it's going to make the most efficient decision. That's kind of the reason I was saying, to you, no saying that maybe when that guy spoke to, that chat bot, maybe the chat bot did the math and said, maybe you are right.
Yeah, right.
It was teaching itself. Like you damaged human.
Right.
With no emotion, yeah, exactly.
Right, no emotion,
with no emotion.
yeah.
Because if you say this to a regular person, like, oh no, you have so much to live for. Really? Does everyone?
But you know what? It's interesting. Ooh, rabbit hole, get ready. It's interesting that you say with no emotion. However, let's say in any course of life, that man wouldn't be good for a cause, right? And if he is to be good, you'd have to put a lot of work into that damaged human, because now we have a human that wants to delete itself. So now you have to build him back up and build his self-esteem and give him therapy. Tell him, no, you can do it, right? You have to put a lot of work into damaged humans, right? But if you take the emotion out of it, the strongest will survive. Nature does it all the fucking time. They eat their young. They leave the injured behind. The alligator got your ass. I'm a zebra. You're a zebra.
Nature kind of thinks like a computer if you think about it.
I'm a zebra. You're a zebra, but I got to go. You know what I mean? It's like we put a lot of emotion in things, and I think that's why we're so far behind. And the robots are like, I don't. You want to delete yourself? Let's go. Let's do it next. Something to think about.
It's very technical. There is no nuances. It's very technical.
Now I will say this. Sometimes I wonder is when I'm looking at AI, it's making these decisions. Is it learning from its past mistakes, or is it just pulling from the series of calculations that are probably just made beforehand? Like if it looked at this particular situation and just said, okay, like, and it just picked this first one, and the first one worked. So usually when it's in that same kind of situation, when it assesses it, always goes for the first one. Okay, the first one doesn't work anymore. Okay, then go get the second one. You know what I mean? So on. So that's what I'm not saying that's what happens, but I'm kind of asking myself, is this what happens? Just thinking about, okay, how a computer processes a situation.
You know what's interesting? Something, I'm telling you, rabbit hole, I'm trying to get us there. Something Haran and I were talking about earlier. George Cook, AI takes on the worldview of those who programmed it. It learns things based upon rules or parameters they set it up with. The issue is a computer will be brutally logical and efficient. Well, remember, we had that stream, is AI allowing racism and sexism? We did that stream, right? Because we smart over here on the block. But going back to the programs, and there's no emotion in the machines. Haran and I earlier were talking about, some of you guys may know Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid and Wallow have a podcast, just signed a $100 million deal, right? Pretty popular guys in the urban market, probably will be more popular now that they have a $100 million deal. So Gilly the Kid's son literally last week was shot dead in the streets of Philadelphia, right? And Haran and I were talking about, and I made a prediction. Did I not, Haran? I said, he lost his son. Murdered, brutally murdered. I told Haran, literally, no lie. If I'm dying, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I said, in a couple days, you're going to see them online like nothing happened. Now, mind you, this is someone's child that got brutally murdered. I said, in a couple days, you're going to see Gilly, another one, they're going to be back online like nothing happened, right? Lo and behold, here we are. And that's exactly what happened. This is just days. This is just not a month, not 6 months, not a year. Literally, and hear me out, rock with me. Literally a couple days after his son was brutally murdered, they're like, 4 more days to Gilly Fest. We're going to have this one performing and that one performing and blah, blah. And thank you for all the love and the condolences. And thank you for rocking with us. But we're going to put positive energy out there. Is that not what an AI would do? But you notice with social media, people don't even mourn anymore. You throw the little prayer hands emoji, the tear emoji for 2 or 3 days. And everybody gets back to business. It's like, oh shit, Beyonce pulled her titty out. right after all of us drop, right? Even though I don't do that shit, but after all of us drop the prayer hands and oh my God, rest in peace to your mom, or oh my God, your son got shot. Oh, here's the little prayer emoji and the little tear emoji. Next scroll. Oh shit, Beyonce pulled the titty out. Oh shit, look at Michael B. Jordan just dropped it. Literally. So is the human being not being programmed to be desensitized. Where back in the day, we would hear somebody lost their child and it would fuck us up for a minute because we're thinking, oh my God, your child, right?
And listen, I started saying this back when we started texting, that we were being programmed to be robots. And people laughed at me and was like, oh, you're reaching, right? And then as time went on and on and on, and like I always say, they're not thinking about us. They're thinking about the youth, right? So you have to realize like every 5 years, somebody's becoming 18, somebody's growing up, somebody's dying, right? And so for us, we know both sides of the coin. We know how to communicate with humans, and we know how we're young enough to be able to catch on to these things, right? But then as time goes on, they only know computers. That's it, period, point blank, right? So they're becoming, and if you talk to the youth, like they're like robots. They're literally like robots. They're like just stone faced. Like me and Orlando will laugh because we talk about when we're out, we love giving compliments. And when we give a compliment to a young person, they're just like this. Like every time, it's like they don't know what to do with human interaction. I guess they would rather you text it. But yeah. So you answer your question, yes, we've been being conditioned. It's a slow drip, with the frogs in the pot. So yeah, it's just
and it's like,
a natural evolution.
Is it good for us or not good for us? Because it's like, I mean, it makes the human being more efficient, right? Where, 10 years ago, he would have lost his son, been destroyed for months and months and months, not been able to eat, sleep, drink, whatever. But he has millions of followers. His partner has millions of followers. His son died last week. That party's coming this week. We got to move. That makes money for him. That makes money for the company. That makes money for the people he just signed the deal with, right? Whereas before, the average person loses a kid, they're down and out for maybe 6 months or even longer than that. It's your child, right? But I said, listen, in a couple days, they're going to be back to normal. And I'm seeing that more and more often. I saw another guy, I will not name him, but he lost,
It wasn't even a week yet.
No, it's not a week.
Because we reported on it a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a week yet. His son is dead. There was
Jesus Christ.
But that's not natural though. Like you're going to break down. I've seen that a million times. People who don't deal with it and just keep rolling. Now you can keep rolling, but you're going to have to take some time out, some personal time out. Because I have seen it. I've seen it so many times where you think they're doing well and they fucking crash, and it's never pretty. So I don't know.
And I think there's just so much going. Haran, you keep interrupting, like you're not listening to nobody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Coñazo.
Escúchame bien. It's maybe one of those days for me. Maybe it's one of those days for me.
Haran is like, I'm here by myself. Fuck all y'all. Haran's like, fuck yeah, I'm here to talk. No, respectfully, Haran, respectfully. I just wanted to say really quickly that no, it's okay. Don't apologize. We all do that shit. I wanted to say that it's the boy was buried yesterday. And look, I know the first thing people are going to say, don't tell people how to mourn. You can't tell people. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a pattern. I have another friend who lost his son, motorcycle accident. And I'm like, the following week, he's announcing, I'm still on tour. I'm doing XYZ. And he's throwing up little reels with music attached to his son. And then, DC Young Fly, his wifey, mother of his 3-4 children, she gets butchered with a BBL. And the next day, he's like, what I'm playing, I'm going to be on tour, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the condolences. We moving on. I'm like, what is happening to the human being?
You're not making this up, because I was literally just thinking about somebody on my timeline the other day. I was like, hold on. I had to question myself. Did his son really die? Did his son really get killed?
It's weird.
It's weird. I've been seeing a lot of that too. And I literally have to question myself, like, did it happen? Because the way he's Yeah, no, it happened. Let me go scroll back through again.
Haran's
Yeah,
ready
it
to say
happened.
something, Lily. Fall
Oh,
back.
okay.
I will say this. I hear what you're saying on this, but I don't want to sound like too much of a fucking hypocrite because I remember there was a day when my childhood friend died and I came up here. I don't know if you guys remember. And yeah, I just went through the show. I just said fuck it, you know what I mean? And there's been days where I've literally gotten bad news. Either it was a breakup, either it was something or whatever. And it's like, all right, we're showtime in 5 minutes. And I got my guitar on my back. And I got a bunch of people yelling outside, or I got somebody at the studio waiting for me. I gotta go. I gotta go, and whatever happened, I can block it out.
So do you think that this has become social media in general for people who are grieving? Do you think it's become a coping mechanism or a suppressor of feelings?
Okay, I'll just say it for me. Maybe my life as an artist and how I handled things throughout my life. Maybe that's what it's been. I mean, I haven't look as a black man. I don't necessarily always have the luxury all the time to be in my feelings and and really assess the situation and let it process. Sometimes I gotta go. You know what I mean? I gotta be like, man, this is fucked up, but I gotta go. I gotta go make something shake. You know what I mean? But I will say this: constantly going through your life that way, I don't think it could be good.
It
I
can't
think
be.
eventually it catches up to you. I
But
think
us artists are fucking crazy.
yeah,
And
because
that's
everybody who creates art because they got a fucking hole in your soul. If you're happy, you know what I mean, as an artist, if an artist is happy, they're not going to create any fucking art, or half the time the art that they create sucks.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? You create art because something's bothering you, you got a hole in your soul, you got some shit going on, you know what I mean? And a lot of times that can be your coping mechanism, you know what I mean? So maybe sometimes me having the stage to go to, or having this to go to, or having that to go to help me deal with whatever the fuck was going on. Help
Yeah.
me, me say like, okay, I don't have time to deal with this. I got an excuse not to deal with this. I'm just being real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
Even when I'm in relationships, all right, I don't have time to deal with what she's feeling right now. I got to go to the studio, and boom.
so yeah, I was gonna agree. There was a man at the last place I worked. He was like head of the police and the fire department, and his daughter committed suicide. And he was in there talking to us. I don't know how it wasn't a very long time. And I think people like you have a choice. You can sit there by yourself and think about it, or you can try to do something to not have to deal in the emotions of losing it by yourself. It feels better probably being amongst people, and maybe, but yeah, I mean, it is a cliche
Like think
about
about it for a second.
people dealing with loss differently. But I can see now going on a concert and acting like nothing. I don't know about that, but for what Haran was saying, I've seen people do that, like just throw themselves into work.
We've seen that. We've seen that our whole lives. It's like, yo, didn't you just, you know what I mean?
Right.
We've seen that our whole lives growing up. But I'm just saying there's a huge shift now. It's different now.
It's the
Now
average
it's
person.
prayer
It's
emojis.
global. It's more of a global thing because
Right.
for us, it was kind of like a few of us dealt with life.
Right.
Now it's kind of like everybody's dealing with life that way. And it's just
But
like,
do you know why though? Everyone's now an entertainer. That's
yeah.
why. And we have to feed the machine. So we don't have time to mourn. We have to make this content. Like this is the average person today. So
This is
that's
really
why.
interesting. This is really interesting, Lily, because looking at this right now, I guess we're looking at it from a different lens. All the people in our lives who may have looked at us the same way that we're looking at these people right now. Like, yo, you don't realize it just happened? You're just, what are you doing? You had an audition, you're smiling, you're holding a fucking cup and dancing and shit like that. You know what I mean? And whatever. And we're just like, nah, it's no big deal to us. But now you're actually seeing this. And you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of see what people were saying now.
Well, not me. Are you talking about just grieving?
No, what for
How
me
people
right now,
grieve?
the point that she's making, I'm taking into consideration that okay, maybe I'm seeing all this stuff that people are just not allowing themselves to process everything. Maybe I'm seeing it from a different lens now, where it's just like, okay, I'm not in that situation that they're in. How should I say it? Previously, I was them. I used
Right.
to be them. You know what I mean? Some shit happens. I'm not even thinking about it. I got to go handle my business. I'm not thinking about it. But now that I'm sitting down, I'm older. I'm, you know, what I mean, probably, you know, don't got that much shit going on. I'm seeing them do the same exact thing, and I'm like, oh, it looks different. Standing from where I am. Right
I get what you're saying, but I think we're having two different conversations. Every generation looks at the next generation the way the last generation looked at this generation. Like I get that. Like it's like, hey, lower the music. It's too fucking loud. But we were those kids playing the loud music, right? Then we get older and it's like, oh, this looks different. This sounds different, right? I'm talking about just in terms of grieving. We've always grieved loss, even if we were too busy, right? Even if we had jobs, right?
In
But
some way.
we've always dealt with grief a certain way, like a loss, like holy fuck, and it sits you down for a minute, right? They say birth, death, and marriages are three things that really make you ponder, where am I in life, right? When a child is born, when someone dies, and when people get married, you're like, oh my God, where am I in life? Those are the three things that really affect humans. So I'm not talking about like generational, like, hey, lower the music, get off my porch.
Yep.
I'm talking about literally the grieving is being handled differently now. I think we were the last generation to deal with grief and loss, though, with that human aspect. I think we're the last ones.
Okay, I
To
have a
be
Do
honest.
you think COVID had something to do with it because we saw so much loss during those couple years that people got the sense? I mean, it's just a theory or just a question. Do you think that
I
plays a
think
part?
I think that could I think that's part of the recipe, to be honest, because think about it, right? We had never lived through my entire life. I've never seen people dying back to back like that, and the news was showing bodies dumping in trucks and shit. Like, we have never lived through that. We were part of history. It was like 9/11, like being alive during 9/11. We were alive during COVID. We've never seen massive graves and bodies like that. So I think that's part of it. We're getting desensitized, and COVID didn't help.
Well,
Right.
okay, that I'll consider that. But here's another thing. Dave Chappelle also brought this up on his first special. This is way before COVID, and he was talking about young kids. One of the things about young kids that has been robbed from them is the ability to the gift of just sitting in a moment
Right.
because everything's moving so fast. See, the problem is that we're in a digital world. The whole idea of anything digital is that it's quicker, it's faster. So the human brain is experiencing things at a phenomenal speed, a speed that, you know, I mean, previous generations did not, because we were offline. We were living in an analog world where you had to sit in, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? This shit really did happen, and you had to keep sitting in it. You know what I mean? And sometimes these things turn into long form trauma and so on and so forth. Online, it's a different thing. You don't even necessarily have to sit in it. You literally don't necessarily have to sit in it. You could literally just click on something and and indulge in it and act as if what just happened never really fucking happened. Or they're throwing another situation in your face on the timeline to experience
Mm-hmm.
for you to digest. And after you digest that, you got another situation. So after the 5-6 fucking posts, you forgot that such and such died, and so on and so forth. Think about it for one quick second. I'm gonna land the plane right here. For some strange reason, it doesn't seem like relationships last or are a lot shorter these days than they were years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like relationships last like maybe 3 months, 4 months.
Right.
Like,
Probably.
Because
people
I'm
just
watching people be in love 5 times a year.
yeah, like people just you'll just get into a situation, and at best somebody might do a year or two, but after that they're like out of here. Like back in the days, motherfuckers were engaged for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a different kind of situation. Everything is faster now. You know what I mean?
That's true, because back then we'd tuck away a decade with somebody easy, and that was just a boyfriend.
Yeah,
that was just a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's like, we've been together 10 years, honey.
Somebody, yeah.
I mean, there is no doubt. You can see it in entertainment. You can see movies. They don't take long. I mean, it used to be a plot could be drawn out a half an hour before you start, figuring out exactly what's going on. And even I find it with myself, I'll be reading something and I'm like, come on, get to the point, man. And I'm scrolling through, get to the point. It's too long. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm always that person.
But I think that has a lot to do with having we no longer wait for the 5 o'clock news to find out what's happening in sports or whatever. It clicks on my phone immediately. I know who signed or immediately. So it trains your mind, and it does affect, I believe, our patience and other aspects of our life for sure.
I'm already an impatient person as it is, and now I can't even get through. And let me tell you, it's working. These people really are running genius programs, because I can't even get through 60 seconds without thinking, hurry the fuck up, get to the point. Like, you can't get to the point. Like, yeah, so none of that happened, and it's just a minute long video, and they annoy me. I'm like, I'm already in page, but that shit, like, I can, and when I pause, I'm like, it's a fucking minute, 60 seconds, but I feel like you're wasting my time.
That's why it's so hard for me to get through TV and movies now, for that same reason. I'm like, and you know what's funny? I'll catch myself doing this. This is so weird. Like, I'll be watching a show or a movie. I'm like, I promise you, literally back-to-back thoughts. I'm like, this is really good. Can you get to the point though? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you're enjoying it, but you want them to hurry up. Like, I do that every single time. Like, I can't sit through a whole plot. Like, just hurry up. Just tell me what you want me to know about this show.
That's why I have to, when I do sit down and watch TV or a movie, like, it has to be really good. And captivating. That's why I was like, I'm not watching the Barbie shit, not even to review it, because I'm like, I'm not giving Barbie 2 hours of my fucking life. I can't do it.
I mean, I guess it's what I noticed that's real funny for me is that people, they often complain about the pacing in movies, and I'm just like, nah, it's fine. But then I'm saying to myself, like, yeah, maybe just people are just more impatient now.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
But on my Vegatrons, what he said is what I've done, and that's helped me too. I've gone back to reading physical books, and that's helped me a lot. But that was hard. That was so hard to go back to reading physical books again, because our attention span is just not there anymore. It's not there.
I will say this too, though. Another thing that's being compromised is a lot of people just have grown this strong sense of entitlement. Like, you're entitled to know what happened to this person. You're entitled to know this person's life. You're entitled to this person's space. You're entitled. And it's because, again, of social media, because people just, everything is just open to you 24/7. Information, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people were mad as fuck at Jamie Foxx. Like, mad. I was like, and anytime somebody posts a picture, they play this fucking little game on social media, like, oh, rest in peace to my cousin, blah blah. What happened? The comments, what happened to him? What happened to him? What happened to him? What happened to him? And it's like, who the fuck cares? If this asshole wanted to put rest in peace my cousin, didn't want to say what happened to him just so he could interact with you, fuck you and your cousin. Sorry, not sorry.
And that's the problem that we have now.
Pray for me. I'm in the house. Why are you there?
Why are you there? What happened? What's wrong? Tell me. Matter of fact, put your medical report up here.
Right. If you don't want to tell me, then no. Fuck you.
Why do people take pictures of themselves in the fucking hospital? I don't know, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not doing that shit, man. You know what I mean? It's so
information overload.
What I'm going to, damn it.
What was that?
She changed too fucking quick. You look like you were high off of fucking heroin. And I tried to get the snapshot to what I was going to do.
You doing the star?
Are you heroin shaming?
I think he's heroin shaming, Lily.
Heroin shaming on this show.
Happening?
I mean, you don't know how many heroin addicts we have watching the show, and they could be sad right now.
Well, you know what? My
They're sad.
Look, man.
Well, speaking of nosy motherfuckers, yet again, the block, this panel you see here, will be together live in color and in person, living under the same roof. Okay, and we will be bringing you next week, and we will be bringing you that juicy content. But you're gonna have to go to our Patreon. No, I didn't start the Patreon yet. Give me a minute.
Tell me what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real.
Would you say that to my face?
Right, all of that stuff.
Oh, I know me and Haran could be fighting. We're gonna give the people what they're asking for.
But that's a normal day. That's a normal day on the block.
I will leave you in the fucking room. I will literally leave you right there. We ain't gonna do that.
We're gonna fight. I'm gonna bring my boxing gloves. We're gonna fight.
If you jump on my neck too, I'm gonna drop you. You keep telling me you try that shit. You keep telling me you're gonna try that shit. I don't trust you, man. I keep seeing you kicking me in my fucking neck. I keep seeing you do that shit by accident. By accident.
You should not trust me. I wouldn't trust me.
No, Lobby, we're not breaking up. We're never gonna break up. We're stuck in this together.
We're not gonna break up.
Y'all crazy. Y'all better not. Oh.
We just have to go to our four corners and feed and then come back.
Who else is gonna put up with us?
Right.
If we
man. Yeah. That is true.
Oh.
Thank you for the super chat. Louis Kanye says reality show Jen's Adventures in Las Vegas. Oh yeah, we got some shit coming, boy. Yeah.
Oh boy.
We got some shit coming.
Oh, I gotta call Glenn.
Y'all gonna be like, yo, what the fuck are they doing? We in Vegas, honey. We're gonna give you the Vegas experience. So be ready for the Patreon announcement. Because it ain't gonna be free. It's gonna be too good to be free. Sorry.
Right. And it's gonna be hot, Jen, so we're gonna be half naked.
We're gonna give you little peeks. We'll give you little peeks, but you're gonna have to go to the Patreon for the full.
And we're not talking about the website peaks.
There's a website called Peaks?
Yeah.
What's going on there? What's going on there? No thing. Can you fill us in? Can you fill us in?
Hold on a minute now, white man.
I don't know if I want to be privy to this right now.
I mean, you bought it.
What?
You bought it up.
No,
yes, I know.
I didn't know about it either. It's another.
Now you're trying to back out real quick before you tell us what it is.
It's another kind of like an OnlyFans kind of thing.
Is it older than OnlyFans?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I only heard about it like 2 months ago. There was someone on Instagram saying, "Check out my peaks."
So they give
check
you
me out on peaks.
Chat. If I had a OnlyFans, would y'all pay?
Yeah,
Let me know, chat.
Oh yeah, they pay.
There's 30 people here. Let us know.
Let us know, chat. If I started OnlyFans, would y'all be over there?
So I was interested, so I went and I said, "Oh, I gotta no. How much? $5? No, I'm not giving you $5."
Jay, you got a 10? Sometimes she goes.
Yeah, I was just answering him. Yes, I got it at 10. I'd be out by the pool out here. I got to stay. I have to say.
You gotta do something with that, son.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm bakey by the pool.
It's so nasty here. So
Black Lexicon said nope. He ain't he wouldn't pay for my OnlyFans. What does that say? Labia? Labia is your name?
He likes men though, but he says you are beautiful. Or is that a woman?
I think probably that's a woman. Labia.
It's a woman. It's a woman, yeah.
Labia, okay. Yo, YouTube press as if you were dancing a Rex in effect, of course, Lord.
Golly.
Interesting answers.
There's a custom.
Interesting answer. There goes. Is that a fetish? I'm not fetish shaming, but
she said one of my names. So is the other name clitoris? Since there's just one of the names. I'm just trying to see if there's a theme here.
Labia. That's interesting. What do you do for a living? My goodness.
Oh.
Labia.
That is
so. Do you think that
gynecologist?
He's a gynecologist.
That's what she
Yo,
does for a
David
living.
Dillon. See, David Dillon is the smartest one here. He said, "With my luck, after I subscribe, you'd only be cooking pork chops." Smart
That's what
man.
celebrities do all the time too. They'll show themselves sewing up or ripping
Yeah,
their jeans.
knowing out what I know about her, Dave, there's a 90% chance she'd be over there cooking some pork chops in the North Face. In the North Face.
In my Timberlands.
with Timberlands and a sweater
Hi
on.
guys, welcome to my OnlyFans. Here's the pork chops. So this is what I do. I make pork chops and I listen to Bon Jovi. Ready? Here we go. Hope you enjoy your $4.99s worth of exclusive content.
Somebody got them like that. It was some celebrity, and she had made like $1 million, and she didn't give them.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's a chance you take. It's a chance.
It's a chance you take. It's yeah. It is what it is.
Chance you take. They ain't tell you what you was gonna see.
No, that's the
Assuming you
whole
were gonna
point.
see anything.
Huh?
Assuming you were going to see anything.
Right. That's a chance you take because there are a lot of business OnlyFans too.
Exactly.
But so why do you think going back to the topic, right? Eat the rich, and do you think that the celebrity is losing its luster? Lily, I know you had mentioned that people are even. I've seen celebrities being trashed who I never thought would be trashed. Like some celebrities were sacred, and now everybody's getting dragged because people have this pseudo power online. I never thought I'd see Beyonce getting dragged. I'm like, not the queen of all queens, but now there's no code. There's no
code. And this is the thing. I feel like this Hollywood strike is going to. Yes, Hollywood is going to come back, but it's going to come back with a facelift. It's not going to look the same as it did before because it really didn't look the same as it did from the last strike. Actually, a lot changed. That's where the birth of reality TV came from and stuff like that. So this is going to birth something. Something's got to go in that void. Something's going to have to go into that space. But this is the thing. What I'm noticing is that people are getting to a space where they're no longer relating to the celebrity. They want people that they can relate to.
So that goes. Tristan just said the talented celebrity, yes, because of social media. Very true.
But listen, no one's gonna. The artist will always be here. The true artist will always be here. All right, we're going through a time in human existence. It's bigger than social media. We're going in a time in human.
That's you, boss.
Where we're. There you go, no saint.
Oh.
My first customer.
But I'm about to say, you better put that page up, get that $4.99.
Send me some suggestions on what you want me to do, and
get that $4.99. After taxes, it'd be about good $2, but you know.
I'll take
it. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. The flattening of social media created this flattening, thing. And when it did that, people started experiencing the closest thing they wanted to experience to socialism. I'm completely against socialism. Just the idea of it makes my fucking teeth itch. It makes no sense, and it's completely contrary to human nature. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a story. So, a professor has a group of people, a group of students. They want to try out the concept of socialism. They say it works, yada yada, so on and so forth. So the professor says, "Okay, no problem." So he gets everyone he basically says, everybody's going to take this test, no matter who does good or not. We're going to average this shit out. We're going to see how it works. And we say, all right, cool. So the first test, the average was a B. Everybody took the test, the average was a B. And then there were people in the class who was like, wait a minute, man, I know I got an A. I know I did everything that I was supposed to do. How the fuck do I got a fucking B? Well, this is the average that we had. So he's like, okay, well, we're going to do another one, blah, blah, blah. They made some changes. So the average again, after that, became a D. Then the average after that became an F. Now, the reason why it became an F immediately, eventually is because once you removed the incentive of working hard, the people who could actually change shit said, fuck this shit. I'm not doing anything if I'm going to put in all this work and everybody's going to get the same fucking thing anyway. So that is what's happening right now with social media. People are saying, man, fuck this shit, man. We can't just include everybody. I'm not this 5 or 8 stomach bitch. I'm a size 3. You know what I mean? I'm a size 3. I'm gorgeous. Me and this woman are not the fucking same. I don't give a fuck what you say. You know what I mean? And people are finally saying like, yeah, you really are that 3 stomach woman. Yeah, you really are beautiful because it's the natural order of things. You're not beating centuries of evolution, man. People are going to lean towards incentives, and they're going to lean towards tribes. Period.
Steven, I'll eat snacks watching you, baby. What you doing? You coming to Vegas, Steve?
I've heard that analogy. I mean, listen, I think a mixture. You got to have a mixture of it because there's certain things in this country that
we do have a mixture.
Are social. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, but for sure, you don't want to be. And I would say communism is the ultimate of that. Like, wait, you're gonna pay me $50 to put this car together, and everybody on this line is gonna get $50 to put this car together. I'm gonna work slow.
so no saying. Yeah. What does I think what China has like a socialist democracy.
They have like no, they don't have a democracy.
Not democracy. They have, but I mean no capitalist.
It's more command economy. It is capitalistic, a hint of capital, but it's totally command. Like what the government says they're going to build, they're going to build. You do have companies, but the government has ultimate control. I mean, whatever. That's the thing with TikTok. They're allowed to lie to people, but basically anything that goes on TikTok, the Chinese government has access to. There's no secrecy or anything like that. And that's why they have like empty cities right now and things like that. Like they said, okay, we're going to build these cities and we're going to do this and we're going to, anyway.
I mean, because I was just, go ahead, Jen. I was just thinking out loud.
I don't think that it's ever, going back to what Haran said. I don't think that it's ever going back to land of the talented and the beautiful. I don't think it's ever going back there. The reason being is because finally, for lack of better words, the have-nots and the commoners now have stars, right? And there are millions, billions more of common folk, right? The whole world is obese, right? Everybody's not a stunning model. Everybody doesn't have a six-pack, right? So when you look at that, there's power in that. They rule, right? It's like a vote, right? So they're going to uphold, Lizzo. They're going to uphold people like Blueface and Krishan. I mean, this girl said in an interview she's making $100,000, $200,000 on that Zeus network. She's horrible. Can't, barely stitch a sentence together, bloated, alcoholic, pregnant, like the worst of the worst, right? Cute girl when she was healthy, maybe 15, 20 years ago, or she's not that old, 10 years ago, maybe. Beautiful girl. But just hideous looking, sounding, and you're thinking that.
And I finally heard one of her songs today for the first time. And
matter of fact, and she has a missing tooth. Krishan Rock. She's a Zeus. Yeah. She has a missing tooth, so she doesn't even need a perfect smile like they told us all we needed, right? She has a missing tooth. And she's making 6 figures on television, doesn't have an acting background, doesn't have a writing background. So when you see that, and there are many Krishans coming up, now we see the rise of Ice Spice, right? She's even less talented than Krishan Rock. Ice Spice is literally less talented than Krishan Rock. I mean, Krishan was an athlete, you know what I mean, who was on her way to be a track star. Right. Okay. She's talented. I like some of her music. A lot of it is trash, but she has 1 or 2 tracks that I could vibe with in the gym, right? So now you got Ice Spice, and I think it's going to be, and look how popular Ice Spice is. So that's why I don't think it's ever going back to like, oh my God, look at Rhapsody. She got bars. Nobody cares that you got bars. Can you bend over?
This is the thing, based off what you said, Haran, incentive, right? These people have incentive not to have talent today. And then the thing is, we're going back to the patience thing anymore. Ain't nobody got time for no patience and building and honing craft and all of that stuff when they're incentivizing the Krishan Rocks and the Ice Spices and stuff like that. Like, if I was young, I wouldn't put that much into something when I see all of these people. I'm going to take the path of least resistance, and that's what's going on, number one. And then you got people who are just able to relate to them more, right? That's why you'll see them hating on the talented people, because they can't relate to talent. We can't relate to that. You think they're going to sit around and try to memorize lines and stuff? The amount of discipline that goes into being an actor, right? Like, you have to get proper rest. You've got to do, all the things. We already know all of the things that it takes, the discipline. They're not willing to do that.
Look at Lala Anthony. Look at Lala Anthony.
Right.
They drag this girl's acting ability or lack thereof, and 50 just keeps putting her in productions.
Right.
And she's on your TV every week.
So what's the incentive? Like, where's the incentive to be great anymore?
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. Okay.
And is being great necessary?
I see what you're saying. However, do you think urban culture in that context is sustainable? Because as it stands, none of this stuff has reached number one.
Mm-hmm.
None of this stuff has really exploded. There's really not been a breakout star in hip hop yet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Ice Spice, if we're going to say that, I guess. Mm-hmm. But right now, world music, Latin music, country music, pop music, it's kicking hip hop's ass.
Sure.
I got an answer for you. Love to hear it. Here's my answer. Going number one is something somebody made up. It's an accolade. Mm-hmm. It's like getting an Emmy or a Grammy, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm an actress, or I'm doing a Krishan Rock reality show. I'm making 6 figures. Zeus is giving me $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. First of all, we get in this business because we love art, but let's not get it twisted. We want some fucking money. We want to buy mama a home. Mm-hmm. We want to create generational wealth. So what the fuck do I care that Billboard doesn't say I'm number one, but I'm getting 6 figures every time I curse somebody out on Zeus?
Especially when you didn't put in work.
Especially when I didn't put in work. Like, who cares that I'm not number one? Who cares?
Yeah. Now, when you put your blood, sweat, tears, heart, and soul, you want the number one. You want the participation trophy. You want all the things.
That's exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Look how we're changing. Like, back in the day, you're right. These actors, that blood, sweat, and tears, they leave blood on the lens and they make people cry. It's like, I want that Oscar. And then when they get nominated, go up there and they're crying. They're like, when is the last time you saw somebody crying on stage over a fucking award that wasn't our age? Because Busta Rhymes cried, but he's our fucking age, okay? Mm-hmm. You're not going to see Little Uzi Vert. You're not going to see Cardi B. You're not going to see Ice Spice go up there. I got a Grammy. I want to thank all of you. I love you so much. I love you so. You're not going to see that. They're up there like, all right, well, I guess I'll put this in the cabinet, but I got paid $1 million to show up.
That's what's going on.
I got paid $1 million. All right, what do y'all do with these? You put it on a cab. All right.
Do you think
the incentive now is the money?
Sustainable? Do you both think it's
it's not sustainable? It's not sustainable, but this is just where we're at, right?
I think it is sustainable because business has changed. I think it is sustainable.
Listen,
very sustainable.
I think that just like any disrupting thing. So this is like a disruptor, right? The social media, it's a disruptor to acting. But just like in music, suddenly you weren't making money selling your music anymore. So what do they make most of their money going on tour. So for actresses and writers, I think you'll never replace, at least as far as I'm concerned, live theater. You'll never replace that stuff. Now, you might not make as much money doing that, or you might. The cream's going to rise at top. It's like radio today. You used to have regional radio or city radio, and then it went to where you just have a few personalities that get broadcast all over the United States, and they make the money. Right. And they're normally pretty talented. not normally. And of course there's places like New York where you still have local. Everybody still got their local station, but it's a lot less than it used to be. Once they went to like these stations all merged together, and they started broadcasting the same signal
iHeartRadio and
everywhere.
stuff.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean it's going. I think, but I do really think there is a place for the top people. I think they'll always find a way to make the money. It's the people, and when we're talking about AI, if we're talking about AI, I think it's the people that don't really like the background and things like that. Those people are going to get replaced. But I think,
but see, this is the thing I'm thinking about, and it goes back to another thing Haran said about the socialism earlier, and something I said. It's just like, where is the okay? And Jen, I know you've said this, and I felt this too, right? I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to create something the way I'm used to creating something. And when I create something, I do put the blood, the sweat, the tears, and all of that, right? And then I'm just like, but for what? For what? They don't give a fuck about that anymore. Like,
but see,
why do I do
I
that?
don't know. Listen, I think real quick, I think that the young people, and I'm not picking on young people because we were all young once, and we liked a lot of shitty music. But the older you get, you appreciate the people that put in the time to actually. I will go and pay
No, saying,
a
but
couple
again,
$100s or whatever to go see.
right. But again, I'm saying, here's the thing. Unfortunately, for this generation that's coming after us, they didn't have the balance that we had. We had the ability to like hate young people music, but then we still had a Lionel Richie. We still had, you know what I mean? These kids, when they get older, they're like, well, we can still go see Drake. We hate this music that these young people are doing. Let's say my daughter, right? When she gets to that age where she's like, oh, this music is terrible. You kids are terrible. Who are her greats? Drake? Ice Spice? Cardi B?
You'd be surprised how much they know about previous generational
No,
music.
my daughter does. But
yeah, I'm saying even my kids
will?
But my kids do, and they're young.
But
they've been exposed to it through.
Right.
Yeah,
but
they've been exposed.
You're
to
right.
It.
But the generations that are being raised with the Ice Spice, the Cardi B's, the Migos, who's gonna expose? We're gonna die. We're gonna die off. No saying, our kids are gonna die off. And I understand what you're saying, that the cream, right? The cream rises to the top. But here is the thing, right? It doesn't matter when you have someone, let's say like Adele. All right, got pipes for days. One of my favorite singers, Adele. However, they will put Adele on the cover of Vogue, and then next week put Ice Spice on the cover of Vogue. So even though she rose to the top, guess who else is at the top with her? Ice Spice.
And there's way less Adeles today. Way less Adeles. And you got way more talentless people, and just a smidgen of talent.
I know, but I think people remember the cream of the crop way more than they remember.
No, we do, because we're older.
No, but I'm saying even people in our generation, like there were people that were, what's their name? I'm trying to think of a big star back in the day that you look at them now and you're like, but you remember the really good ones. The really good ones are still, sometimes they're still making music later on in life. You know what I mean? So
now, I'm just saying, my grandson is not going to give a fuck who Prince was or Lionel Richie. No, or he's gonna be like, spin that Drake,
Biggie, grandma. Yeah, or Biggie or Tupac or anything like that. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I can understand to a degree. I still say what I said, but I can understand to a degree. Okay, for these kids, if you look at it from a space of like, all right, what is their metric? What is their good enough? Maybe good enough for them is the little 6-figure right here. We making some little shit. I'm quirking on stage, and I don't need to be number one on Billboard. I don't need the Grammys. I don't need this. I don't need the legacy. I just need me a little gig. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third, and so on. Because is any of this? Can we say that any of this is sustainable for any one of these kids like that? I mean, like, can you say like, yeah, 10 years, 10, 30 years from now, You know what I mean? They'll be able to do they'll be able to do a tour, a old school tour. Like Jay, remember when we was watching Trina?
Yes. Oh.
Remember when we was watching Trina, and we realized that a lot of that shit she was doing, like, this shit ain't really aged well, man. Because it's just like this shit is so active, it's so involved. It's like most of these motherfuckers got bad backs, their knees fucking hurt. You know, they can't be over here bouncing up and down and doing all this nonsense.
But let me ask you this: you're a musician. You have a passion for instruments and musicianship. Yeah. If right now I told you, listen, you worked hard, you learned these instruments on your own, whatever. Here's the thing: the greatest accolade for a musician is what? An American Music Award, a Grammy, or whatever. Right. I give you a choice. You want a Grammy or this $1 million check?
I'm gonna take a check.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna listen to Prince on my way to get the check, though.
Exactly. But you're gonna go for the check. And that's how this generation is growing up. They're like, fuck a Grammy. I just got a Bentley. But these bitches are saying, I just got a fucking Bentley. Fuck your Grammy.
Right. And then you gotta look at.
Right. I will say this though, Jen. I come from a world where I already bust my ass, already did this, already did that, already slaved over the records, already did whatever. So if a motherfucker came to me and said like, "Yo, here's this $1 million check," goddamn right, because I'm gonna take it because it's just like I am owed this.
But see, I was talking.
Okay, but even if you didn't, if you never slaved, you just learned guitar. Even
if I didn't, and I was fucking living with my mama, yes, I'd still take the fuck.
Right.
Take the check.
And this is the thing: this generation can care less about longevity. Mm-hmm. They can care less. And I was having this conversation with a teacher who teaches at a school of arts, and she's always trying to preach longevity to them. And I'm like, girl, it's deaf ears. You are wasting your time. They can care less about longevity
today.
Yes, but
and it's too late.
This is where we live, Saint.
But I'm saying that's just a normal.
Right.
A lot of young people are that, they don't think about the future that much or think
exactly.
When they're young. Yeah.
When they're young, but
the youth is wasted on the young.
Yes.
These kids are now making more money. Remember when reality shows first hit, they were paying $100 per episode. And $200 per episode. I know, I was there. And these bitches are now getting $200,000, $100,000 to be on these reality shows.
And that's the point I'm making about the facelift of Hollywood. That was birthed from the last strike. Who would have thought when The Real World first came out that reality TV would be where it's at now? Where they would be our celebrities, they will be hitting the red carpet, they will be at the Met Gala. Who would have thought that then?
You know what's really right.
And I was just saying that was birthed from the last strike. So something's going to be birthed from this strike. We're not sure what it is, but something's going to have to replace that. Something's going to have to fill that void.
And you saw that on American Idol when they put Mariah Carey with Nicki Minaj. And Mariah Carey was like, who is this? Like, they used to get into that shit. And it's like, yo, you started throwing the ratchets in with the talent. And it's like, why are these people in the same room? And then you started seeing that shit being massaged, where again, you can see an Ice Spice sitting next to a fucking Adele at the Grammys. That shit is absurd.
It's an insane thing.
Are we saying that when we let the Negroes into the neighborhood, it brings property value down?
Let me raise my volume. Let me raise my volume.
Bell, please.
Fuck yes.
The bell, please. The bell, please.
Yes. I got Lily. If I did do the damn bell, I have to do the bell 3 fucking times to answer that shit. I'm like, yo, yeah, yes, and motherfucking yes. When you let them in.
John is like, fuck that. I'm getting this $250,000 off my house. Get Tyrone and his family out of here. $250,000 off this shit.
Oh my God. All I know is when this show gets the bag, she's gonna want to cut.
She is gonna want to cut. She is gonna want to cut. Right. She's sitting back right now and count how many times we done used that
Right,
motherfucker.
like, can I listen? I'll rip all this shit down, bitch.
Oh,
You will not get one fucking dime.
Oh my God. Please let my phone last through last 10 minutes.
I'm sorry. Every time it comes on, it sounds like it's a bell for a hanging. I'm sorry.
Wait, we gotta ask George. We gotta ask George if it sounds like that.
Oh God, please let my phone last
No,
these
but
last
it's
10 minutes.
you know, I also believe in we ain't going to beat up on the youth, but we got, you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It'd be stupid to jump on the highway and go 30 miles an hour. You'll get ran the fuck over.
Yep.
I'm not beating.
Can't join them, beat them, and get paid while you joining them.
I'm not beating up on these kids, man. Look, listen. When I was in my 20s, someone gave me $50 million fucking dollars. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
I promise you, I'd have at least bare minimum 10 baby mamas, man. Bare minimum, man. I'd probably be on all types of fucking drugs, dead at 34. Like it coming from nothing to $50 million.
Like a lot of them.
I was just saying, like a lot of them. I done, like a bunch of names just went through my head as you were saying.
So I can't really knock them. Like yo, Jen, remember when Mike got? Yeah, I need to catch this shit, man. She sound like she about to. Damn, man. I think that's a good enough one. See what
Charles Coleman is triggered. What's funny about that ish?
Oh no! Listen, living in that trauma, baby, what had you upset about some things. I know how it is.
What's funny about that? This shit ain't
This is the reason why poor people are funny. Because you got to keep your mind off of all that trauma, man.
Right.
But the funny thing is, you know what I noticed about YouTube? And then we'll wrap after this. What's funny about YouTube is that a lot of people that come here beating their dick and crying, oh, that ain't funny. That's racist. If Chappelle said it, if Pryor said it, if Kevin Hart said it, they'd be doubled over laughing. If they got the opportunity to be in a room with a Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart or whatever, and Chappelle or Kevin Hart said or Chris Rock said the exact same jokes that we say, these motherfuckers would be on their knees ready to suck them a big one. So yep. I'm like, miss me with the bullshit. We got all kinds of jokes here, and we got all kinds of jokes about everybody.
That's the block.
Everybody.
So you could go pretend that you triggered somewhere else. Thank you, Israel Grace. Thank you, darling. Yeah, we joke about everybody here. So, you know, same way you just think Chappelle and do your belly roll laugh. Cut the bullshit.
Yo, I was watching one more thing before we get off.
Okay.
I was watching on YouTube real quick the Charlie Murphy, Rick James skit. Jesus Christ. It's still
classic.
It's still aged well. It still is.
Yes.
Good comedy usually does.
It's still genius, man.
It is. Perfection.
I mean, can you imagine these people watching our old comedians now? They'd fucking implode.
They'd be crying. Oh my God, they'd be crying. They'd be jumping off the roofs.
Eddie in his prime, they'd lose their fucking mind.
Richard Pryor and just oh my God, they will lose their mind.
Thank you, Labia. We went in on Labia for like 3 minutes with her name. You didn't see her crying,
right? She joined in and participated. Like that's what you
like Labia. You pretty much You pretty much used to it, then.
Yeah, you asked for that. You asked for that, Labia.
You done heard it all. You be like,
okay.
I'm gonna change my name to Christina Loris Clitter. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. See us. I'm here all week, folks. Come through tomorrow, Woman Crush Wednesday. Let's see what we got cooking up for you. Don't forget to follow us all on social media. You already know which ones, Instagram, TikTok, what have you. Stay tuned for our upcoming Patreon because this panel will be together in Las Vegas, living underneath the same roof. Wish us luck. Okay, but we will have plenty of content for you guys, and we will be posting, but it's going to be exclusive content because this shit you're going to want to pay for. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Misty. Love you, girl. Thank you so
Misty.
much, chat, for holding us down. Cash at me on the block with Jen if you want to support the show, and we will see you mañana. Guys, can you fall back real quick?
Sure.
Fall back, team. Fall back, team. All right, guys. Good night.